Hey everyone, welcome to the Lady Entrepreneur platform. My name is Shannon and we are businesswomen with a purpose. I will be joined tonight with Woodlyne, banking manager who went and became an energy healer and a transformational coach. I met her on social media and I'm looking forward to hear exactly what she has to say tonight. Hey
Hello.
Woodlyne,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Fantastic. So I'm looking forward to our conversation last night. I know last week we had a chance to catch up on your show. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to hearing your story just as everybody else, I'm pretty sure. So I want everybody to know exactly who you are and what you do. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, and then I'm going to have some more questions for you afterwards.
definitely. First, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Um, I am a energy healer and mindset coach right now. So precisely, I'm a Reiki healer. So I'm someone who spent 10 years, the last 10 years as a banker, and I was miserable. And my family was super proud of me, but I was, but I was miserable. And eventually, I went on this journey to learn to love myself, to learn to listen to myself, and eventually found myself as a Reiki healer. Reiki is something that have helped me a lot in the past, right? And have healed me in the past, and is how it all started for me.
Okay.
Everything, my journey to learning to love myself started with Reiki. So Reiki, for those of you who don't know, is energy healing. It's some sort of energy healing. And what the practitioner does is they channel the life force energy into their patient, which activates the body natural ability to heal. And once
Okay.
that happens, it helps the patient release either physical pain, stress, anxiety. Um, it helps it helps you uncover the root of bigger illnesses.
Okay.
And so it's a very um, it's a very nice practice, a very fulfilling practice for me. So
So
that's what I'm doing now.
what the difference between the energy coach and transformation is it transformational coach or mindset coach? What's the right terminology?
So it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Eventually, I call myself, to be more precise, I'm a mindset coach,
Okay.
but the idea is to help you transform.
Okay.
So, which is why sometimes I use the general term of transformational coach.
So if with all of the terms that you just used to express what an energy healer does and a mindset coach, what type of individuals would come to you as an energy healer versus a mindset coach and vice versa?
So, energy healing would be more any sort of either discomfort. It could be that your mind is not at ease. It could be as simple as that. You're just not at ease. You're not feeling balanced. You're not feeling grounded.
Okay.
So energy healing will help you with that. It could be a bigger issue. I have clients with cancer. It could be, it could be something bigger, physical illness, anxiety. So anything like that, to be more precise. Um, mindset coach would be more someone who's trying to do something, who wants to do something, but is feels some kind of blockage. So there's a
Okay.
lot in the world that we want to do, right? There's a lot that we want to do, but for some reason we can't get ourselves to do it. And we know just do it, just do it. It's super easy to say, right?
Yeah.
But why isn't that everybody else doing it? So normally there's usually an underlying issue, which is where mindset comes in.
Okay. So with individuals that you work with, would you have would they usually encounter you for both things in their life, being an energy healer and mindset? Would you recommend it both to entrepreneurs or people just in their personal life or business life?
I always recommend energy healing. So even if I'm just simply coaching someone, if they're open to it, I'll recommend energy healing. Energy healing, again, gets you to get to the root of things sometimes. So
Okay.
sometimes you can't get yourself to do something. I'll give you my personal example with Reiki, uh, in regards to my throat. So went through Reiki session afterwards. My healer called me and said, it was a distant Reiki session, and she said that uh, your throat chakra is blocked, and one of the reasons behind it is a lack of self-love and a lack of self-confidence. So I wasn't allowing myself to express myself authentically, right? To
Okay.
show up authentically in the world, which totally resonated. What she didn't know about me is the first time I was dealing with her. What she didn't know is that I had a thyroid nodule, and at the time that I was speaking to her, I was developing a serious throat infection.
Okay.
Right, and it all makes sense. I keep so much in that I have energy blocks in my throat. I have energy stuck in my throat. So that was at the center of me wanting to change my life, because I realized how much I was suppressing who I was and how much I wasn't expressing myself through either my career or just in my personal life with people. So I started to learn to love myself, to gain self-confidence, to then start expressing myself, and then start doing the things that I really wanted to do, which was not banking, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
If we could go back to your banking experience for a minute, I remember I reached out to you because I seen your story on Facebook saying that you were a bank manager for 10 years. You left to become an energy healer. And I just connected with that because I'm in the financial industry as well. And I'm like, most people want to be a bank manager, and most people feel like that's a job that they want to be in, right? So when I seen that you said you're leaving it, I'm like, oh, I want to talk to this girl, right? And hear her story. So I guess what made you get into the banking industry to begin with? And at what point in time during that 10 years did you start to feel stuck?
Okay, so I got in. I always knew that's not what I wanted to do. So
Okay.
my first memory of this is when I was applying for university, and my sister was like, "What do you want to do?" She was helping me fill out forms, and I was like, "I have no idea." She was like, "Well, people who don't know what they do go into business school." So I went into business school, right? And then at some point, I wanted to change to communication, uh, which was a bit more in line with me. But I was told that finance would pay me more. So I stuck with it. And I ended up, starting my career as a banker. At the beginning, I thought the higher I go, the easier it'll get. But for me, it's actually the worse it got. I always knew that I wanted to be a coach of some sort, a life coach. I
Okay.
even got my life coach certificate about 5 years ago.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm never going to do this. I'm not good enough. No one's going to take me seriously. So I never actually done it.
Okay. So I know for most females, males, anybody getting into business, they always feel a fear of starting out their own business. And like you just said, nobody's going to want to take me on, nobody's going to take me serious. Did you feel that you had that fear, or did you just say, I'm going to do it and let's see what happens?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I do still have that fear. You know what I mean? But it's now, with all the work that I've done, I know that I'm good enough. I know the voices in my head telling me that I'm not good enough, or it's just a story that I made up from past trauma, right?
Okay.
And I can
Yeah.
pinpoint exactly which trauma. And because I've done the work, because I sit down and I meditate and I listen to myself, and I know that those doubts, my fear of public speaking, I know it's a trauma. I know it's from a past trauma, that I made up a story that it's not safe for me to speak my truth, right?
Yeah.
So I forgot your question, honestly, but it's I so for everything that we're going to do, there's going to be a fear of some
Hmm.
sort. And that's where the work comes in. Really
Okay.
helps you be present enough to recognize that right now it's just voices. And I'm actually good enough and actually can do it.
Yeah. No, but you answered the question. I was asking you if you had that fear instilled in you, and how did that come about? So you actually answered my question. But I know for myself, I did one of your sessions, and are you okay with me talking about
Oh,
our?
yes, please share.
So I can attest that Woodland and I never met before anywhere before I started talking to you on social media to ask you if you would appear and talk with me on here, right?
Right, absolutely.
So I just remember Woodland saying, okay, I need you to go in, relax for 45 minutes. I'm like, this girl's crazy. My schedule's busy. I have all these emails to answer, and she wants me to relax. I'm like, okay. I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So I went and relaxed for, well, it was about 30 to 45 minutes. You say a session usually takes, right?
Yes.
So I lied down on my living room floor, and I said, okay, how do I know when we're done? You said, I'll just have a feeling. So when she called me back, I'm like, I think you just allowed me to have the best nap ever in my life. And
Very relaxing.
one of the reasons why I said that and is because my daughter is 1 now. She still doesn't sleep right through the night, so sometimes I'm up just having watching her nurse on me. Is like, oh my gosh, are you done yet? So I can go back to sleep. But anyways, I guess I had that feeling. I woke up about 10 minutes before you called me back, and we had this conversation. And all of the things you said to me on the phone, I'm like, yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Keep on talking to me. And then before I finished my story, you asked me a question on that call. You said, you don't know how much I believe in spirituality or angels and things like that, which leads me to ask you, when you get calls like this or when you do a Reiki reading, do you get negative responses once you give the feedback to your clients?
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So that I get negative response, it's always very, uh, it's always welcomed.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes people don't believe in the same things. They don't believe in the spirituality. It's like, what does that even mean? Are you telling me about ghosts? Are you telling me about a bad omen? Like, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So when you ask me that, I'm like, I wonder if she gets that a lot. But no, I was very open to our call and receptive to what you were saying me, and I felt like you were actually one of the answers that I've been waiting for. One of the things you brought up in our call was my focus. My mind was overly overwhelmed. Sorry, overwhelmed with focus. Is there something that I need to focus on right now? And I knew exactly what I'm trying to focus on, and it had to do with my business. But what I wanted to move forward within my business, I was fighting and struggling with that answer. Like, should I do it now or should I wait? And you told me that I should always follow my intuition. And I'm like, yes, she just answered my question. I'm going to move forward with it. Because I just felt like I was waiting for that one last piece of the puzzle to know how I should move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And everything you said to me, I think you just like hit a nail on the head, and I resonated with it. So I like that call. Anybody who's never done a Reiki reading before, I would actually recommend it, even if you don't believe in certain things, just to listen, right?
Right.
Because um, maybe one out of the four things you tell somebody will actually resonate with them. It will actually mean something to them. And if they're not looking at it from that perspective, it may mean something else, right? And I don't know if you can touch on anything else about that. Maybe coming from you, it will make a lot more sense to everybody on the call.
I think that honestly, I think I don't always bring up angels. I have to say that. I don't always, but I get an intuitive hit as to if I can. Like when when your angels want you to know, they tell me. And for you,
Mm-hmm.
it was very present. Like it was like she's connected, tell her. So, and I don't always bring this up because it's just, even if it's not about that, just the natural healing um, benefits that comes with Reiki. Just for
Mm-hmm.
that, I would recommend it. A lot of people, to me, it helps me sleep like a baby. So I personally love Reiki so much. I give myself Reiki almost every day. You know, thank God we can do it
I
on
would do it
yourself.
every day too. If you were, if I could talk to you every day, I'd do it every day.
So yeah, so I do it for me every day, and just everything. I'm gonna speak to another experience that I've had with Reiki, and it's one that I don't always talk about because it's a little embarrassing. But years ago, I used to have a lot of yeast infections. That's something that we don't talk about a lot because we're ashamed of
Yes.
it, right? Used to have a lot of yeast infection, and I didn't understand where it was coming from. So I was always at my doctor's, always talking about where it could be from, and we couldn't find the source. And then I went into an energy healing session, and after, again, she doesn't know because it's not something I talk about. She, my healer after said, she said, "Do you get a lot of infections?" And I'm like, "I do. How do you know?" And she's like, "It's because you always force yourself into situations that you don't necessarily want to be in." So at the time, I was my partner of 7 years, and I thought that as a woman, or a job as a woman is to please. You can always say no when you
Yeah.
don't really want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually forcing myself to be intimate with my partner when I didn't really want to. And
Okay.
that was affecting me more than I thought. So it's just all that to say
Would
that
you
the
have
things,
even thought about that? Like,
not at all.
I, yeah.
It's all that to say, even the things that you don't think affects you really has an impact on you. It's the buildup of those things. So I talk about forgiveness a lot. Just forgiveness, for example, is super important. And it's
Yes.
not because you're trying to help the other people. It's because if you're not forgiving, that means you're holding some sort of resentment. And the buildup of resentment in your body will eventually hurt you, causes
Yeah.
joint pain, right? Woman that has been through abuse of some sort, breast cancer, you can find the source for about just about anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your emotions really affects you. Waking up, forcing yourself to go to a job that you don't like, you complain about all day, every day, affects you. All of these things that you don't think affect you really has a big impact. So that's why I would recommend energy healing to just about anybody.
So you would actually say for those people that are not happy in your job, find what makes you happy.
Oh yeah, I strongly believe in that.
I
I don't think we're sent here to be miserable. I think
yeah.
we're sent here with gifts to express them, to be our most authentic self in every area of our lives.
Mm-hmm. And
And that's what
I feel like we should explore those options early on in our life because as we get older, we always say, "Oh, I wish I had done that when I was this age," or
right.
"Oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore because I'm so old." So with everything that you're saying, I would believe that this is a good time for you to find your true happiness, right? And what
Absolutely.
you want to actually pursue in life, right?
And then
Would
the
you
reason that, sorry, and
no,
the
I was
reason
just
we
gonna say,
don't do it,
would you agree with that?
absolutely, and the reason that we don't do it as young kids is because society teaches differently. It's
Mm-hmm.
because or society um, trend, project their fears into us and tell us, "Hey, I want to be a singer." Hey, you're not. It's very hard to be a singer. Very competitive. You'll never get through. Oh, I want to be a life coach. What is that? Especially in the Black community, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? I want
We're
to be
told go to school, get your higher education, and get a good paying job.
exactly. So we end up spending most of our lives trading our happiness for a paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
right? For anyway, for to help someone else build their dream.
Yeah, and a lot of us continue to do that until it's a little bit too late.
I
But
don't think it's ever too late, but that,
well, no, I shouldn't say that. I would agree. I don't believe it's ever too late, and you're never too old to do anything or almost anything. But but I feel like you should just always follow your dreams and pursue what you want to in life.
absolutely. Listening to yourself is key. Taking
Hmm.
time apart. I always recommend meditation, to meditate, to listen to yourself, know what you really want to do. And it's not always about building your own business. You can find happiness in working.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and working for someone else, that could be your purpose, but just making sure that you're doing what truly makes you happy. And that's what's important.
Yeah, but working for somebody else, working at a job that you actually like and you love, and you wake up
Yeah,
every morning and like, yeah, I can't wait to get to work. That's
that's good. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
so. Before we end off for tonight, Woodlyne, is there any advice as just as yourself as a mindset coach that you would give to any entrepreneur that is looking to transition from a 9 to 5 into a self-employment setting?
Um, exactly what I just said. I strongly believe that your only purpose, your true purpose in life is to be your most authentic self. And that's in every area of your life, whether it's in your relationships or in your career or, whether it's for your hobbies, whatever you're doing, it's to
Okay.
be your most authentic self. And if you're going into something, wanting to start your own business, first of all, yes, do take the time to listen to yourself. But once you do, it's not always super easy. So keep going.
Okay.
Consistency is key, and don't give up. Yeah, don't give up.
Okay. We actually have a question from a viewer. How do you start the journey of listening to yourself, and where do you begin?
Oh, I love this. For me, it started with meditation, honestly, but it doesn't have to be that. It could just be spending time alone with yourself and not doing anything. It could be just going for a walk with yourself. It could be just, some people get it to their exercise. Exercising gets you to truly listen to yourself. But for me, it was meditation. And yeah, it's just, honestly, we live in a society where there's noise everywhere,
Yeah.
right? You get up, you pick up your phone. That's noise. Your kids come to you, your husband, you go and make dinner. You're always doing something. You go to work, you come back, you take care of your kids, you watch a Netflix show. You're never quiet with yourself. So it doesn't have to be meditation. It just has to be that time that you find for yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes per day. It's for myself and for me to listen to my thoughts and listen to myself.
That's good. I remember reading in a book one time, they said, just take 5 minutes out for yourself. It doesn't matter if you're in the shower, if you're just outside doing nothing, just take 5 minutes a day for yourself. And it actually works. It gives you somewhat of a peace of mind, I would say. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that." But we find time to do things that we want to do. And so even 5 minutes for yourself, some will say that's a lot of time. I don't have 5 minutes, but we got to take care of ourselves. And I think, especially during this time, during the pandemic, a lot of people have seen that and is trying to actually take a healthier path in life. And there's still some people that are struggling with it, but where do you go? What do you do? You just have to find time for yourself sometimes.
Absolutely. Even if it's just waking up 5 minutes earlier or
Hmm.
giving up 5 minutes of Netflix, whatever it is,
Yeah.
or doing your lunch break at work, whatever it is, I think it's important.
My last question for you, Woodlyn, would be, is there one tip or advice I can ask you again for that helped you in your business that you can let us know about for anybody else?
Advice for what? Sorry?
So, like one tip or advice, a piece of advice that worked for you in your business when you were getting started out as an energy healer and mindset coach that you
So
think might work for others.
I think that you're you can have the best business in the world. If no one knows about it, then it's not working. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, would be my advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add about your business? Can you let everybody know where they can find you if they wanted to do a Reiki reading with you or needed your transformational coach services?
Absolutely. I have the links on my Instagram, which is Woodlyne00. Also, you can find me through my website, which is woodlyne.com. And that's it.
Okay. Guys, I would recommend you do have a 15-minute free consultation up on your website. I would recommend reaching out to Woodlyne, even if it's just for that 15 minutes, just to find out more about her, if it's something for you, and if a Reiki reading is something that you actually need in your life. I didn't know I was going to actually do a Reiki reading ever in my life, and I did one with Woodlyne. So I would reach out to her and see where it goes from there. I will also be posting her information on Instagram as well if you forget. And if anybody else wants to be interviewed on the show, just to reach out to us, and everybody can hear your story. Thank
I
you,
love
Woodlyne,
it.
for joining us again
Thank you,
tonight.
Shannon. I love what you're doing with this platform.
Thank
Just
you so
supporting and
much.
empowering women is beautiful.
Thank you. I
All
enjoyed
right.
our conversation. You have a
Me
great
too.
night.
You
Okay,
too. Bye
bye.
bye.